There are so many things we've been missing during this time, and one of them is that low chatter of audience before a concert and then the expectant hush as the hour draws near. It's great to be reminded of those things that we've forgotten that we cherish. Good evening. Welcome to week 2 of the 2021 Victoria Summer Music Festival at Christchurch Cathedral. My name is Ian Alexander. I want to acknowledge right away that we gather here on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples of the Esquimalt and Songhees First Nations. We make that acknowledgement with gratitude and humility and in an ongoing spirit of reconciliation. We would ask you to note the health guidelines of the Anglican Diocese of Islands and Inlets of British Columbia, currently in effect here at the Cathedral. Masks at all times, please. Physical distance, which I see you're maintaining beautifully. And unfortunately, we have to ask that at the end of the concert, rather than staying to chat with your friends in the audience and perhaps with the artists, that you leave quickly. And if you do want to do that kind of schmoozing, do it outside rather than inside. Another happy return to pre-COVID times is this opportunity for me to say to you, if you remember this, please remember to turn off your cell phones and pagers and anything else that makes a noise. It's been a long time since we've had to do that. That is not something that people watching and listening from home necessarily need to do, because this concert is being live streamed. We very much welcome those who are joining us that way. We appreciate your financial support to help us offset the cost of these concerts. There's a easy, simple donate button that you can press, and you'll also find a place where you can download a PDF of the program so you can feel like you're right here with the rest of us. Lots of other music still coming up here at the Cathedral. The Saturday afternoon summer recital series continues this weekend, 4 o'clock on Saturday. The local early music wind ensemble, who call themselves A Great Noise with a Y, will be here to make that. And the Emily Carr String Quartet's ongoing cycle of the complete Beethoven string quartets is continuing, and the next concert in that series is Friday the 10th of September. The Victoria Summer Music Festival is pleased to announce new dates for their long-awaited presentation of the complete Beethoven sonatas for violin and piano, with violinist Jonathan Crow from Toronto and our own pianist Arthur Rowe. And those new dates are December 7, 8, and 9. I feel in this space I can say, God willing, it will happen on December 7, 8, and 9th. And if you want to make sure that you know when tickets are available, subscribe to the festival's newsletter. I'd like to remind you also that there's another festival coming up very soon here in Victoria, Music Festival, September 8 through 13, the Pacific Baroque Festival. 5 events, 3 at Alex Goulden Hall up the street, 2 here at the Cathedral, an opening organ recital and a closing choral evensong. The Board of Directors of the Victoria Summer Music Festival is very grateful to all its donors and sponsors and audience members for your ongoing support during this difficult time. And we extend special thanks to the Capital Regional District, the Government of BC through the BC Gaming Commission, and the BC Arts Council. And the festival tips its hat also to Donald Hunt and Mark MacDonald here at the Cathedral for helping to accommodate the festival here this year rather than at its usual home at the University of Victoria. Now, this week at the festival we have what can only be described as a dream team and a dream theme. The dream team is comprised of our 3 performers, violinist Joan Blackman, cellist Brian Yoon, and pianist Arthur Rowe. And the dream theme comes in the form of 3 masterworks for piano trio by Haydn, Brahms, and Schubert. We're going to hear the Haydn and Brahms this evening, and then the massive Schubert piece all on its own tomorrow. Before we hear the first of tonight's music, here to tell us a little more about it, our violinist, the artistic director of the Veda Chamber Music Society, former longtime associate concertmaster of the Vancouver Symphony. Please welcome Joan Blackman. Hi, Joan, welcome back. I say welcome back because you folks played this program earlier today at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was you told me then, your first live audience in 18 months. What was that like?
Oh, it's just so wonderful to have people clapping, and we can feel the vibes of people in the audience. So I did play many concerts that were online, but that's just not the same.
Like no applause. And not that energy of tension and people leaning forward. Among the many concerts that you did record online was one that had this same program of these same three piano trios with these same three performers, and you and Arthur have played this program a number of times with other cellists as well. What draws you to this particular repertoire and combination of repertoire?
Well, I think each of the composers are at the top of their game in their era. Haydn had such a sense of humor. He had a sense of humor that was very proper, but you know, he would play by the rules, but he would give you a little surprise here and there. I love Haydn. And Brahms, well, he's so much heart. There's so much heart there, and yet he also uses the architecture of the classical rules. But within that, there is a huge expression.
Now, we've talked about the dream theme, and this Haydn trio that you're going to start with is nicknamed Josef's Dream. It's kind of unusual, isn't it? Because it has just two movements, and the first is a long, kind of slowish theme and variations, and then there's this fast, funny finale that we're going to talk about. Joseph's Dream. So, because we're in a cathedral, I could look it up in a Bible, and I have the quote here, if I can read it. Genesis chapter 28, verse 12. And Jacob's dream, not Joseph's dream. Jacob dreamed that there was a ladder set up on the earth, the top of it reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. So that's all very well, but what does that have to do with this music, Joan?
Okay, well, it has to do with the second movement, not the first movement. And he wrote the second movement a lot earlier, like a year earlier than the first. And it was all a bit of a joke. Part of it was a bit of a joke. But I think he knew that the keyboard player could play all over the place. And so he takes these low down pitches and then he takes them way up high. And it's the contrast, and it's a lot of angels whirring around.
We look forward to hearing you play that. Now I'll let you go back and join your colleagues, and we'll get ready for this performance. And so now here to play the piano trio number 41 in E-flat minor, nicknamed Jacob's Dream by Franz Josef Haydn. Please welcome back Joan Blackman along with her colleagues, cellist Brian Yoon and pianist Arthur Rowe. Piano Trio number 41 in E-flat minor, Jacob's Dream by Franz Josef Haydn, and now, as promised, some late Brahms. And again, to tell us a little bit about this music, if we can impose on her to continue doing double duty, here again is Joan Blackman. Let's see if we can find our marks this time. There they are. There. Good. So, Joan, this is the last of Brahms' piano trios. It's also the shortest. It runs just over 22 minutes. The dream theme. Are there dreamy things about this Brahms trio?
Funny you should mention that. I think the second movement is a bit of a dream. The thing about this, only 22 minutes. Brahms, by this time of his life, he knew what he wanted to say, and I think he knew how to say it exactly the way, just concise. But this second movement takes us off on a little bit of a, it's a little bit ungrounded, and it's searching for something. It's very dark timbres too. Yeah.
Quite a contrast between the inner and the outer movements, because the outer movements are very kind of grounded, aren't they? And then the third movement has these strange tempi. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, to me, yes, he used these 6/8, 9/8 meters that were not really invented yet. That you would, in one bar you would change meter, but he figured it out. But what I think he's doing is it's like a conversation. So it doesn't always stay like and then this happened, and it's like okay.
So it's less about counting and more about going with the flow.
Yeah, and it reminds me, it's very old world. It just has this kind of, I don't know, all the little plims on the piano, and it's just no rush.
You rush off and grab your colleagues, and we'll hear the Brahms. Thanks a lot, Joan. And now from the Victoria Summer Music Festival here at Christchurch Cathedral, we're going to hear the piano trio in C minor, opus 101 by Johannes Brahms. Here again, violinist Joan Blackman, cellist Brian Yoon, and pianist Arthur Rowe.
Thank you.